We have an athletic field consisting of a rectangular region with a semicircular region at each end. The perimeter will be used for a 440-yard track. So in other words, the perimeter of this is 440 yards. Find the value for x, which maximizes the area of the center rectangle. And we're going to obviously get the answer in yards because since our area, our perimeter is in yards, we might as well just stay in yards. They'll tell you if it's different. And obviously there are 3 feet in a yard if you need to convert, but we're going to just stick to yards for this, okay? So when I look at this, I have a couple things. So I want to maximize this area, right? So what I'm actually trying to maximize is XH. But I have another piece here. First of all, I don't want this in 2 variables, so I need to write something with this H. What I'm going to use is this. So I need to figure out what my perimeter is. So I know my perimeter equals 440, and I've got to figure out what that is. Well, it's going to have 2 H's, right? Okay, this side and this side, it's 2 H's. What about the ends? These are semicircles, right? So what this said, semicircular region, these are semicircles. So really I have a whole circle between us. How do you find the perimeter of a circle? Well, circumference, 2 pi r. So in other words, each of these is going to be 2 pi, and then this is x divided by 2 because I need the radius. Okay, so this is the diameter. That's the radius. And this is going to be divided in half, but then there's 2 of them, so I times by half. So those are actually canceling out. Nice thing here, so then this is 440 equals 2h. Now looking over here, those cancel out. I just wanted to write out what I was doing so you understood where everything came from. This is 2 pi x divided by 2. Well, those 2's also cancel out, so this is just x pi. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to solve this for h. So I'm going to get 440 minus pi x equals h. Move a 2 over there. So I really have 220 minus pi over 2 x equals h. Okay? Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in for this. So let's rewrite that. So I have a of x equals x times 220 minus pi over 2x. Now, to maximize the area, I take the derivative, but first I'm going to multiply, I'm going to distribute to make it a little bit easier to take the derivative. Okay, now I'm going to take this derivative, and I get 200 minus pi x. Okay. Then to find when this maximum occurs, I'm going to set this equal to 0. So now I get pi x equals 200. So then x equals 200 divided by pi yards. So this would be my x. And of course, if I wanted to come back and find h, I could do that. So I would come back here to my equation here. So I would have h equals 220 minus, I think it's pi over 2, okay, pi over 2 times 200 minus pi, right? So then 220, those are going to cancel, minus 100 equals 120, 120 yards. That would give me my length. So what do we need to know here? Obviously, the hard part for most of you is going to be writing these original equations. Finding that objective equation. That objective equation, that's the term the book uses, is simply what am I maximizing or minimizing? What is my goal? I would write that first because that's what you're aiming for. And then you figure out, okay, I have these 2 variables. I need to get rid of one of them. That's where that constraint comes in. That's what we're going to write. That's the second piece of information they gave. This is no different than those word problems you solve back in algebra where, okay, I have 2 variables, but I don't really have 2 variables. I can solve one in terms of the other. rewrite it so I have one equation in one variable. And you want to make sure you have the right one. Make sure you're maximizing the right thing. I don't want to maximize perimeter. I'm maximizing this area of the center. So make sure you're focusing on getting that piece in there. Then once you have that, you can go back and, okay, take the derivative, set it equal to 0, solve. That's going to give you your maximum or minimum. Obviously, if you get more than 1, you can test to see which is which. You can also graph it, but it's usually pretty simple to tell. And obviously, common sense will prevail. If you get 2 answers and 1 0, the answer isn't 0. Okay. If you get a negative answer, the answer isn't negative. A lot of times you can throw out some of those extra answers before you even move on using just basic common sense.